Hello, today we'll take a quick look at Psalm 90. It's thought to be associated with the events that took place in Numbers chapter 14 after the spies returned from the promised land. The people grumbled. The Lord threatened to strike the people and start a new nation from Moses, but he interceded on their part, and the Lord in his compassion relented. We have some big themes in this psalm, beginning with verse 1 and 2 that speak to the eternal nature of God. A prayer of Moses, the man of God. Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. And the amazing thing is that he knew us before we existed in eternity past, as it speaks to in the book of Ephesians. He chose us in him before the foundation of the world. In Psalm 90, verse 3, it continues, you return man to dust and say, return, O children of man. For 1,000 years in your sight are but as yesterday, when it is past, or as a night in the watch. You sweep them away as with a flood. They are like a dream, like grass that is renewed in the morning. In the morning it flourishes and is renewed. In the evening it fades and withers. So again, we have this contrast to the opening and the eternal nature of God to our life here on earth, how it is fleeting and so passes away so quickly. So in that, how do we act? Well, there's one more component starting in verse 7. For we are brought to an end by your anger. By your wrath we are dismayed. You have set our iniquities before you, our secret sins in the light of your presence. For all our days pass away under your wrath. We bring our years to an end like a sigh. The years of our life are 70, or even by reason of strength, 80. Yet their span is but toil and trouble. They are soon gone, and we fly away. Who considers the power of your anger and your wrath according to the fear of you? And here we have essentially the gospel, that we die and that we are under sin and condemnation because of our own sinful nature before the Lord. So how do we deal with that? What's the proper perspective? Well, that's how the psalm ends beautifully. In verse 12 it says, so teach us to number our days that we may get a heart of wisdom. This is the beginning of wisdom, to fear the Lord, to know that he's eternal and that we pass away quickly on this world and we stand before him afterwards in judgment. And to have the heart of wisdom is to know our own weakness and the fleeting nature of life itself. Return, O Lord, how long? Have pity on your servants. Satisfy us in the morning with your steadfast love, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days. And here we have the blessing of knowing God. Through Christ, we have this wonderful blessing of being satisfied, delighting in the Lord, and having all the desires of our heart met by him above everything else that is offered to us in this life. Make us glad for as many days as you have afflicted us, and for as many years as we have seen evil. There's an eternal treasure given to us in Christ by God. Let your work be shown to your servants, and your glorious power to their children. Let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish the work of our hands upon us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. So here we have a beautiful psalm that speaks to the nature of the Lord, mankind, life, sin, redemption, all these things, and the favor and grace of God ultimately. Take care.